Hello, folks. How y'all doing? It has been Old Truth. This is Old Truth speaking. It's been quite a while. Well, my schedule has had me very busy. But current events has really, give us a lot to think about and what's going on with the violence and murder of African American men. Now, we may all have different views, but we can't have different facts. And the name of this one is called Eric Garner I Can't Breathe. I was really shocked at the amount of protests and displeasure with police departments all over America. Literally thousands marching from Portland, yes, even Portland, Miami, LA, Washington, D.C., Detroit, not Detroit, Boston, I'm sorry, Chicago, Providence, and let us not forget Ferguson, which was the start of. But I like to go into it deeper. I like to expound on that statement. See, it's not just these two men who were killed by cops, unarmed. There's a history of mistrust in the African American community against the police department because, let me tell you why. The police had and still have a history of coming in the black communities and thinking they're above the law and doing what they want. I myself have seen people beat down for nothing. I know people who went to prison for years for nothing. One person committed a crime. He wasn't even an African American. We were living in New York, and matter of fact, the fellow that used to go to school with me, they locked him up. They would look. This guy's African American. The guy who committed the crime was half East Indian. The guy they arrested was there in their 6 feet exactly, muscular. The other guy was short and stocky, with slick hair. They looked nothing alike, and they got away with it. So they went in the neighborhoods. They beat. I hate to say it, and some places killed, stashed drugs on African Americans who were totally innocent, and there was no one to speak for it. But here you have white America, black America, even Hispanics in large numbers sit down, die-ins. They're closing down even the Grand Central Terminal, highways and bridges. It's the first, they've never seen it like this, even in the Civil War, excuse me, even in the civil rights era of the 50s and 60s, it was never seen like at this amount. The young are out there and they're united. But one thing, this country needs God. I keep telling you, this country needs God. Because this current crop of politicians, I don't care what political party they belong to, they are as phony and as full of crap as a constipated elephant. They're bought, they're in the pockets of big business and special interest groups. They do nothing Congress. They're just worthless. We need to take Washington and just well, never mind. That's for another time. But the thing is, the urgent need, the urgent thing is to get the right people in these positions. And it starts with voting. See, most of what we see and hear is controlled by about 6 or 7 of major companies. And one ethnic group literally controls what you see and hear. Well, now that's another thing. And they're vilifying black people all over the world. And let me tell you, my uncle was in, I had several uncles in World War II. One was December 7, 1941 in Pearl Harbor. One was fighting in the South Pacific. One was in Italy. That was a cousin of our who was shot in the back, sniper. And matter of fact, one of my uncles was a lieutenant. And he was in the Korean, and a host of relatives who were fighting in World War II, Vietnam, all Korea, all the way on up. You know, so I have the right to say exactly what I feel. Like I said, we can have different opinions, but we can't have different facts. Let me tell you how dangerous the communication is between the mistrust between police and African American communities, because they have a history of arresting blacks and beating them and killing them for nothing. Now, I'm not saying in all cases, no. I'm against crime. I'm against black on black violence, white on white violence, or anything. It's a crime and it's a sin against God, and you're going to pay. I don't care who you are. But do you know that every 28 hours, a black man is killed, either by a police officer or some type of security guard or some type of self-reported vigilante? We only make up 13.8% of the population out of, what, 315 million. But we make up over 40% of the prison population. Not only that, it's a well-known fact that whites and blacks use and sell drugs at the same amount, but blacks are 5.5 times more likely to be arrested because you're going to be stopped just based on the color of your skin. And Hispanic men as well. They are stopped much more frequently than white Americans. And blacks get much longer prison sentences. So the marching is right, but we need to put God in these marches. In all our activity, let us acknowledge God and put Him first. But this is a movement. See, let me tell you something. I don't know if you've noticed it. All of these are contributing factors. Do you know that an African American with a college degree is twice as likely to be unemployed than a white American with a college degree and with a recent criminal record? They're just not hiring you based on the color of your skin. You have to take my what I'm telling you, Google it. Bing it, AT&T it, or whatever. It's a fact, though. All African Americans know that. They're just not hiring you at the same rate, and it's gotten worse. You know, it's like you take Eric Garner had his hands up, deliberately trying to avoid what they killed him for. He wasn't fighting, he wasn't kicking, he wasn't spitting. Yet they got behind him and choked this man, threw him on the ground, and almost had their knee in this man. And this man hollered 11 times, "I can't breathe." They thought he was that unimportant just based on the color of his skin that they murdered that man like that. So, and let me tell you, more and more white Americans are being arrested. You have to understand. You have these two groups. Well, there's a lot more. If the Correctional Corporation of America is a private prison industry, they make money by locking people up. Google it and see. They're even locking up large amounts of white men, more so now than ever. You have to look, do your research on these things before you. And I like to say one more thing before I go. We have to pay for this country. America, economically speaking, America owe way over $17 trillion. That's an impossible figure to pay back. And they owe a lot of it to China. And China, economically speaking, is over America now. America is in second place to the dragon. And that's just the way it was going, to China. China is stepping all over America economically. And do these weird programs like Stop It First, just to see if you were black or Hispanic men, which were twice as likely to be stopped as white Americans, just to see if they, so supposedly checking for drugs and weapons. And over 90% of everybody they stopped were innocent. And this other guy who choked Eric Garner to death, this guy stopped two black men for nothing and stripped them in the middle of the street and were touching their privates right out in the open. Everybody knew that, but I mean, they just lately said it, but people knew that already. See, this is why African Americans, and not only African American men, but people of color do not trust the police department because they do not come into our neighborhoods to protect. Not all of them now. The small amount make it harder for the good cops. If you pardon my expression. So we have to pray for this country. Like I said, just in 2012 alone, over 314 African American men were shot down, and most of them were unarmed. 98% of them were unarmed. You understand? Look at Michael Brown. Okay, they say you had 15 different opinions on so-called witnesses. Okay, we know the grand jury. We know all that. We know that. It's a lot of clock. We know that. But look at Ramarley Graham. Look at the fellow who just shot in New York in the stairwell in the dark. He didn't even see the guy that shot in the dark and murdered that young black guy. Unarmed for nothing. You should see what they did to that white girl. Picked up and slammed her on the trunk. Right in the middle of Brooklyn. Right off of Empire. She was coming out of college. Going home, I mean. What about the young white fellow? They had him choked up in the air. The militarization of the police departments. You have to understand, America is a business now. It's no longer a country of equal opportunity. It's virtually run by big businesses and special interest groups. This is why Congress is worthless. We need to pray for this country because, like I said, they're going to kill Christians here one day. I told you this before. Because the American dollar is worthless. And the privatized prison industry is the same people who own the record industry. That's promoting all this gangster rap. We're calling these so-called gangster signs. It's owned by the same people. Are you starting to get this? So pray for America. Pray, we're going in the wrong direction. We need God, but thank God that the young Americans, white and black and Hispanic, are coming together to unite to change things. But put God first before we lose America. Because that's just what we're going to do. Without God, that void has to be filled by something. And it is being filled by something. Even our children can't even go to school now. I don't care what color you are. Even a baby is being shot down in school. You never had this 10 or 20 years ago. So pray for our country and stay united and keep the fight going, but put God first, or we're going to lose America. And another thing, please don't put your trust in these so-called politicians. Because like I said, most politicians, regardless of their Republican or Democrat, are as full of crap as a constipated elephant. They're nothing but liars and crooks. Somebody that stand up there, you know how many vacation days or how many times a year they get vacation? They don't pass any laws. Some of them make over $250,000 a year and don't do anything. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do your research. They're not passing laws. So be careful. Well, it's already, the voting is passed. But anyway, pray for this country and pray that we get some good, honest leaders who can relate to the everyday working American. Because that's what America was founded on. And God bless you folks, and it's good to be back. I'll be coming back soon because there's a lot to talk about. There's just so much I can't cover. God bless.